The doctor said I got the peekaboo virus. They sent me straight to ICU. Today, I'm going to recap a 2007 action thriller film called Leave Free or Die Hard. The film opens with Matt Farrel, a tech expert, finalizing a novel software and hands it to McClane. She tells her superior and romantic partner Thomas Gabriel they can commence their scheme. Gabriel's plot kicks off by giving the directive to eliminate the hackers he enlisted, Farrel included. They do this by embedding a malicious program that ignites explosives tied to the hackers' PCs when they hit the delete key, and also kickstarting a digital assault on the U.S. state systems. Over at Rutgers University in New Jersey, a young pair shares a romantic moment in a vehicle. Detective John McClane from New York City intervenes, revealing the young woman is his alienated daughter Lucy. She angrily departs, rejecting her paternal surname, and goes by her mother's last name, Gennaro. Concurrently, the FBI's main hub goes offline for a bit, leading Deputy Director Bowman to call for the detention of all suspected hackers. McClane gets assigned to retrieve Farrel in Camden. His arrival interrupts Farrel right as he's about to activate the deadly trigger on his device. Gabriel's hitmen then shoot at Farrel's apartment, which was under surveillance to ensure Farrel's demise. In the ensuing conflict, McClane takes out multiple intruders. The aftermath of the battle destroys Farrel's computer and the surrounding area. Both McClane and Farrel make a hasty exit via the fire escape, McClane taking out several adversaries during their descent. Farrel is visibly shaken by McClane's unyielding demeanor amidst the chaos. He's told they're heading to Washington, D.C. Simultaneously, Gabriel wreaks havoc on the country's transport signals, from roads to railways to air control. As McClane drives to D.C., disorder ensues on the highways. Additionally, Gabriel orchestrates a fake anthrax alarm, making several government buildings evacuate. Some of Gabriel's crew, disguised as a hazmat team, infiltrate a facility in Maryland, neutralizing its security personnel. Upon reaching a provisional FBI base, Farrel spots photos of the dead hackers, but denies any association with them. In a sinister move, Gabriel broadcasts a spliced video of past presidents, delivering a menacing message to the country, followed by a crippling blow to the nation's economic infrastructures. The FBI directs Farrel and McClane towards the Department of Homeland Security to facilitate Farrel's interrogation. On their journey, Gabriel starts the transfer of a substantial amount of critical information from the Maryland site to his personal systems. During their drive, McClane, Farrel, and the FBI detail attempt to liaise with local law enforcement to clear their path. However, their radio chatter is picked up by Gabriel and Lynn, who cunningly guide them into a trap. Growing suspicious, McClane tests Lynn by inquiring about a specific police frequency code. When she responds by saying they've dispatched units for that code, McClane reveals it's the signal for public nudity, thus unmasking her deceit. Subsequently, Gabriel comes on air, revealing intimate details about McClane, liquidates his financial assets, and tempts him with a bribe to eliminate Farrel, which McClane resolutely declines. Anticipating the planned ambush, McClane and Farrel attempt evasive maneuvers, but find themselves chased by a menacing helicopter. They navigate their police cruiser, with the helicopter tailing them into a tunnel. Gabriel, in a strategic move, releases traffic from both tunnel ends, encapsulating McClane and Farrel in a vehicular chaos. Frustrated and determined, McClane propels the patrol car out of the tunnel, ditching it at the last moment, which results in the car taking out the pursuing helicopter, neutralizing most of Gabriel's henchmen. One surviving thug mistakenly reports to Gabriel that McClane and Farrel are dead. As the duo makes their getaway on foot, they discern that Gabriel has incapacitated the national telecommunication systems. Gabriel then usurps national TV channels, displaying footage of the Capitol building's destruction. Both Bowman and McClane, shocked, rush outdoors only to deduce that the footage was a ruse. Farrel, confronting his guilt, confesses recognizing some of the deceased hackers and acknowledges unintentionally developing a portion of the code that might be aiding Gabriel's cyber onslaught, termed fire sale. This assault has a tri-phase strategy aimed at debilitating the U.S., disrupting transportation and economic frameworks, both already executed. The concluding phase targets the power grid, necessitating physical access to the plants. Farrel confesses that his previous perception of hacking was just innocent mischief, but the current havoc and anguish it's wrought deeply disturb him. He modifies a cell phone to tap into an alternative network for connectivity. Locating an unused car, McClane and Farrel face a hurdle. The vehicle's security only permits the owner to ignite it. Ingeniously, Farrel manipulates the car's OnStar system into starting the engine by feigning a dire medical crisis as the car owner's son. Their destination is set to West Virginia, which houses a central power nexus for the eastern coast. Throughout the journey, Farrel admits to McClane his belief in his own non-heroic nature, referencing numerous minor health issues and fears as evidence. Concurrently, Lane and her crew, disguised as FBI operatives, gain entry into the power station, eliminate its security, and assume control. As the power shutdown starts, McClane and Farrel make their entrance. They're swiftly identified, and adversaries are dispatched to take them out. The pair manages to battle their way to the main control room of the facility. A fierce duel ensues between McClane and Lynn, during which Farrel halts the shutdown operation. McClane decisively ends Lynn's threat by ramming a vehicle into her, causing a subsequent explosion in an elevator well. In a surprising act, Farrel aids McClane, taking down another enemy. Gabriel, noticing the halted shutdown, tries reaching Lynn on her mobile. McClane answers, informing him of Lynn's demise and the foiling of his plans. Infuriated, Gabriel decides to flood the power station with natural gas from pipelines. Detecting this deadly intent, Farrel and McClane seek refuge just as the facility erupts in flames. Assuming his adversaries are deceased, Gabriel inadvertently instigates a massive blackout, affecting Washington and a significant portion of the eastern seaboard. Amidst this, Lucy McClane is caught in an elevator during the power failure. Next, McClane and Farrel decide to meet the Warlock in Baltimore, described by Farrel as an internet Jedi. Due to congested roads, McClane chooses an audacious mode of transportation, the helicopter previously used by Lane and her gang. He confesses his brief stint with helicopter training was an attempt to overcome his flight phobia, albeit incomplete. Predictably, they crash upon reaching Baltimore. In the meantime, Gabriel and a select group of his henchmen proceed to eliminate his remaining computer technicians, ensuring there are no witnesses, before heading out in a large truck containing a mobile computer operations hub. The Warlock operates from the basement of his mother's house, which he has transformed into a tech command center, boasting an impressive array of computers, independent power sources, and an eclectic collection of nerdy collectibles. Although skeptical of law enforcement, the Warlock is eventually persuaded to help. He reveals Gabriel's background as a former FBI computer security head, responsible for the development of a major part of the system and identifying its vulnerabilities for potential attacks. After Gabriel tried to alert higher-ups about these security issues, even going so far as interrupting a meeting of the Joint Chiefs, he was disgracefully berated and publicly shamed. The Warlock conveys to Farrel that he looked into the specific code Farrel was commissioned to write and found it solely utilized at the Maryland facility, which is currently active and drawing significant power. Once Gabriel becomes privy to the Warlock's intrusions, he traces it back to the basement hub, subsequently taking control of the Warlock's computer and webcam to communicate with McClane. Gabriel presents McClane with images of his daughter stuck in the elevator and announces his intentions to retrieve her. Determined to confront and eliminate Gabriel, McClane instructs Farrel to stay back. However, Farrel is adamant about aiding him. Lucy is conveyed to Gabriel's location under the pretense of a rescue. Demonstrating her tenacity, she resists vehemently before being restrained. When McClane and Farrel liaise with Bowman, they show him an image of Gabriel. Bowman expresses his dismay, revealing that the still-active facility, affiliated with the National Security Agency, was conceptualized by Gabriel as a contingency measure against potential threats to national infrastructure. The prior attack on the FBI led to a mass transfer of financial data from stock markets, corporations, and government entities to this very site. Gabriel's apparent intention is to replicate this vast volume of data onto portable storage devices, enabling him to clandestinely siphon off billions. McClane and Farrel make their way to the data facility, but Gabriel becomes aware of their intrusion. Farrel discerns that the code he crafted was designed to bypass the main databank security measures at the center. As McClane engages Gabriel's forces, Farrel manages to encrypt the data Gabriel acquired. Without the decryption password, which only Farrel possesses, the data is rendered inaccessible. Subsequently, one of Gabriel's men captures Farrel and brings him to the control room, where Lucy is also detained. When Farrel suggests to Lucy that they adopt a more submissive approach with their armed captors, she counters, advising him to show more courage and resolve. After dispatching the guards sent for him, McClane communicates with Farrel using a walkie-talkie taken from one of the guards. Gabriel's attempts to convince McClane to stand down are unsuccessful. Gabriel tries a new tactic by having Lucy try to convince her father to back off, but instead, she discreetly informs McClane about the limited number of adversaries remaining. In a swift move, Gabriel, along with 2 of his men and the hostages, make their getaway in an emergency service vehicle. Another henchman departs in a semi-truck, which houses their mobile computer operations center. McClane manages to infiltrate the semi-cabin and, after taking out the driver, sets his sights on the van carrying the remaining antagonists and hostages. Inside the van, Gabriel pressures Farrel to decrypt the locked data. However, Farrel resists, understanding that this encrypted data is his primary leverage and that Gabriel would likely eliminate him once the information is unlocked. Through a connection set up by the Warlock, McClane gets in touch with Bowman, who dispatches an F-35 fighter jet to intervene. Spotting the approaching aircraft, Gabriel cleverly hacks into military databases, impersonates high-ranking officers, and instructs the jet pilot to target the semi-truck. As the F-35 fires missiles, McClane diverts his path, rushing towards an incline leading to an overpass. With the truck in chaos, McClane narrowly evades death, only to face the looming jet ready to finish him off. A falling chunk of concrete damages the aircraft, forcing it into a descent. McClane narrowly evades the crashing jet, using its spiraling trajectory to his advantage, and leaps onto another part of the shattered incline just as the aircraft detonates. The escape vehicle carrying the adversaries and hostages reaches a warehouse. Undeterred, McClane continues his pursuit. Gabriel demands that Farrel input the code to unlock the encrypted data. When Farrel resists, Gabriel ruthlessly shoots him in the knee. Threatening Lucy's life next, Gabriel commences a countdown, insisting he'll kill her once he reaches 10. Under such duress, Farrel relents and begins the decryption process. McClane makes his entrance, swiftly taking down one of Gabriel's men, but not before Gabriel manages to shoot him in the shoulder. Injured, McClane seeks cover behind a vehicle, with his firearm lying within Farrel's vicinity. As he tries to retrieve his weapon, Gabriel ambushes him from behind, sadistically pressing a gun into McClane's fresh wound. Gabriel mockingly suggests McClane's epitaph would read, "Always in the wrong place at the wrong time." In a bold move, McClane fires his weapon through his own shoulder, fatally wounding Gabriel in the process. Concurrently, Farrel grabs McClane's discarded gun, taking out the remaining adversary. Shortly after, FBI agents converge on the scene, attending to the injuries of McClane, Lucy, and Farrel. In the aftermath, Farrel and Lucy express mutual affection, confiding in McClane. Lucy, hinting at a reconciliation with her father, signifies she's reclaiming the McClane name for now. If you enjoyed this video, don't be shy to hit the like button, and if you disliked it, hit the dislike button twice, just to be sure. It would be best if you watched the whole movie. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe for more videos like this.